May 13th. Have to check because I'm never quite sure. This is Bernadette Gold Unfiltered Live, the podcast. I actually uploaded an episode today, so that is going to go live anytime now. I think on the podcast sites, it goes live in 10 minutes. On YouTube, it goes live at 9 o'clock. So let me give you guys a minute to get here. Say hello when you do. I'm super, super excited that I made it to today. I really, really wanted to get my all of my stuff done for my new classes. And wow, I do have most of it done. The first two elements, the free quiz, which I told you guys about the other day, and the income generator blueprint foundations is still I'm still recording, although the first half is available and it's a big course. So yeah, and I'm waiting for Mr. Andy to pop on. We're going to talk about a few things. A lot has happened this week, things that probably don't surprise you. I know they don't surprise me. And yet, I guess the fact that they're being said out loud with no apologetic kind of framing is one of those things where it's like, wow, you guys are just so blatant. Everything's happening so blatant. So it's interesting. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. So let me know. Let me know in the comments if you're watching. Can you hear okay? I did adjust my mic a little bit just now, and I adjusted it earlier today. I've been playing with different settings because when I was recording my videos, I kept getting plosives, that puh sound, because the mic was just too direct. And yeah, you live, you learn. So who is watching over on YouTube and Facebook? We got Facebook going on right now. Say hello. Am I on all the Yeah, I am. Okay. I'm everywhere. I'm on YouTube, both my channels, my personal page, my business page. We are broadcasting on TikTok as well. So let me know that you're here. I know I'm kind of early. I'm like 10 minutes earlier than I normally go live, but I want to get this knocked out so that I can go chill. I've been working since 6:30 this morning and I'm kind of tired. And it is almost 7 o'clock here. So been over 12 hours. We're working on close to 13 at this point. Anywho, like I said, Andy, my co-host, he's setting his studio up right now. He's going to jump in. We're going to talk about what's been going on, what is coming up. There's a lot happening in the world. There's a lot happening with the energy. Starting today, from a Vedic astrology perspective, the energy starts to really kind of compress even more, if that's possible. Who would thought that it would even be possible to have this much compressed energy? Starting today, it starts to really compress in and hits a highlight around the 16th. So we have a lot of energy moving and it does feel kind of intense. I don't know how you guys have been feeling. I'd love to hear how you're feeling. I know I did a video about time and how it's moving super fast and it just doesn't feel right. It was worse last week than it is this week. This week, time is a little more manageable. Last week, we had fast moving spikes of energy hitting the planet, and the Schumann frequencies were shifting around and going super high. And so all of us were experiencing a very different way of living with time. Talked about that in a video I made. I think we talked about it in the last live stream. The live streams are gonna start shifting and changing just slightly, because I am releasing the income generator blueprint out into the world and the archetype, quiz, which is already out. We're releasing that and really launching it this weekend or next Monday. And I promised the people who are doing it, who are in that program, that I would jump on during the day and actually answer their questions live. about how to build an income independently, how to deal with business and some of the results you get out of your blueprint. And then once we get into the foundations class, how to build a business properly, I'll be answering questions about social media, about marketing, about branding, about positioning, about all those things that are involved in the foundations. So, like I said, the podcast or the live stream is going to be changing. The podcast staying the same. It's unfiltered. Once again, I just released season 2, episode 1, and it will hit and release. It's up on my website, but it has not released yet on Apple and Spotify. It won't release until I think 7 o'clock my time, 5 Pacific. And then YouTube, the video podcast episode releases at 9 p.m. tonight, Central Time. So all of it will be out. That's the first episode of season 2. It's been a bit since I released an episode, but I've been working on 3 projects and been super busy. How are you guys feeling? How are you doing with the news cycle right now? There's so much going on. There's so much happening and so very quick. Mr. Andy, how are you, my friend? Hold on, let me switch our window. Jump on. Why aren't you on? Here, let me turn you on. What's up? Oh, we have
Here I
feedback.
am.
Did you have your phone on?
Yeah, I got to turn down the volume. Hold on a second.
All the way down.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hold
Wow.
on. I gotta turn my volume down so I don't get any feedback.
And I look almost human. The new camera you sent me works great.
Yeah, you just gotta play with the colors, I think.
Yeah, I got to do a little bit, but
Yeah. How you doing?
great. Like you said, the energy at the time has just flown by. It's already Wednesday.
Don't
And
you
it felt
feel like it's better than last week though? Like the whole time compression thing feels slightly different, like a little better, more manageable than last week?
yeah. I feel like I don't know if I feel like I'm getting more done, or I'm as you have been advising us on how to better deal with the speed at which things are coming with us. I think now that I'm more prepared for it, it does feel better. I think you're right, but um, I'm more accepting as opposed to um, expecting. I guess that was one of the things I talked about this week. Was instead of expecting, accepting, and then moving on. It does make it easier to take on the day.
Yeah. Have you had time to go through your income generator blueprint stuff?
I have and I haven't. You know me in highlighters. I quickly went through it and saw stuff that was suggested and the insights that were provided, which were I thought spot on, and pointed out what when I read the points and when I read the options that were and opportunities that are already there for me. They seem apparent once they're pointed out. That sounds funny, but you know what I mean. I mean, there are things that when I went through the income generator with your help that I've been doing that should be generating income, but I've never availed myself of those opportunities. So yeah, I found it very
In other words, you were giving it away for free.
yes, yes, and I understand how I could now embrace that and work at it. The question becomes, and you know this because I'm in a different place than most people that I think you're trying to help, because I'm at the end of my cycle as opposed to, still in my, as they like to say, the high earning years. But there's still stuff there that if I choose to, as I'm winding things down, still choose to work at stuff, there are opportunities and options there for me to use. So I found it very helpful and
I'm
and
glad.
very clarifying. It also allowed me again to focus because, and I think I briefly mentioned this to you as I was going through it. First of all, it's 26 pages, which is very extensive and laid out very logical, and the options. This isn't pie in the sky stuff. It's very realistic. and it's immediately actionable, which I always admire about you, because when you work with people, you're giving them stuff that they can immediately take action on. You're not giving them, very vague suggestions on, here, you could do this or you could do that, or you're giving them stuff that's immediately actionable and stuff that's realistic. So that's the other part of this that I find,
You know
inspiring.
why I do that?
I think you do that because it's, first and foremost, it's helpful.
It's yeah, but
Yeah.
it's also because I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, on my own personal development and business development and marketing and all the junk that you pay for as an entrepreneur in the digital world, and they don't give that to like, a lot of the stuff they give you is, like, vague suggestions or things you can't really pull off or aren't really applicable. It's half-assed information, and it is not actionable. I'm a doer. Like, tell me what I need to do specifically, and I will get it. Because I had that meeting with Valerie, what, a little over a month ago? And
Yeah.
within a week, I created a brand new podcast. I recorded that podcast, 12 episodes, and I launched it all in less than 7 days.
Right.
Everything on my list to do, I'd already knocked out within a week. And I know not everybody's like that. Not everybody's a doer like me, and they take more time, which is fine, but they should still be given the steps to take action so
Right.
they can get the results that you supposedly are promising them. Like, I don't promise things I can't deliver.
Yeah.
And I can't stand it when
And,
people promise and they don't deliver.
well, and the cool thing in reference to you and Valerie and the meeting that you guys had, you guys are both a lot alike, because she gave you immediately actionable material and you took immediate action on it. When I saw her a couple of weeks later and she asked me how you're doing, I said, she did everything. Because you were basically done within the week. And she just said, I'm not surprised. Yeah. So, yeah. But the biggest difference, and this is one of the reasons you're so unique and why I recommend you to everybody that I get the opportunity to, is that you are working with the person that's in front of you. Other people put together templates and they put together programs that have to be purposely vague in scope because they don't know who's going to read it. You're working with the person that's in front of you. You take them through the program, or you have set up this program to where when they work through it, it's like you're sitting right next to them when they're doing it, so that they get the opportunity to work on the skills that they have to grow, as opposed to,
Well,
well,
but there's people like you, right, that are in my audience that are not 30-year entrepreneur veterans like me, that I figure, you know, it like you, a lot of times I'll do walkthroughs with software and different things on a Zoom and take you step by step. People need sometimes to go step by step so that they
mhm,
can absorb what's happening, and I think that's sometimes the best way to learn. In fact,
right.
like, when I look at YouTube videos, sometimes I think you guys aren't going slow enough. Like, you have to take it step by step so that I know what I'm doing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
What's your style of learning?
And the coolest part for me in this journey, because you're right, where I am and what I've been doing, I'm not an entrepreneur, although I like to think within the confines of who I work for, I consider myself an entrepreneur in the way I approach how I'm working with and for them. One of the
Hey, Go
cool,
Live Vegas.
what was that?
Go Live Vegas just entered the chat.
The what I find interesting, and whenever it pops up, the moment of clarity I get, or you give a name to something that I think I've been doing for a very long time. Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, but I've been doing that for a while. So the fact that there's a lot of resonance to the stuff that you're talking about, and the fact that I've been working on myself for the longest time, forever, and I'm a firm believer in constantly growing. It's there's a sense of validation in even going through the beta test, and I go through with you when you put your new programs together. They go, okay, I understand why that works. So yeah, and it's fun. the growth process should be fun. It shouldn't be as painful as a lot of people make it out to be.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I have a curiosity, and I want to know from the audience too, y'all watching. Do you think people are stalled in their growth right now because of overwhelm? Do you think that people are embarking upon a path of growth, whatever that may be, personal, financial, health? Um, which one is it right now? What do you think? Hey, Justice for Owners.
No one likes uncertainty. So I think a lot of folks are happy. If they are stuck, I think they're okay with it right now because there's so much uncertainty out there. They'd rather be where they are, knowing what the limitations for them are before they move into a realm that could possibly be good for them. But at the same time, they just don't know.
You
You know,
think?
sort of psychologically, the bird in the hand, two in the bush sort of deal. I know what my limitations and my devils are right here, right now. But if I venture out this way, it's new and it's uncertain, and that could be tricky for me.
Can you see the chat? Do you have your chat window open on your dashboard? Justice for Owners is saying, I think a lot of people are pivoting. I think so too. I think because it's been necessitated, right? Like people lost their jobs, the layoffs keep coming. I mean, hell, next Wednesday, Meta is due to lay off 8,000 people.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy the numbers that they are laying people up. They're saying it's AI. That's not true.
no,
This is not why these companies are laying off. They're cutting back because of their profit margins.
they're
And
great. That's and the folks at IKEA are a great example. IKEA embraces AI technology, and what did they do when they made it a part of their business? They up leveled the employees. They trained
here's the
them
thing though with IKEA that my daughter and I were talking about, Brindy and I were talking about. I don't know if you've noticed, their prices have gone up super high this year.
Yeah,
Like, the same the I have some IKEA stuff. That thing behind me, that Calyx behind me is from IKEA. I think we all own some IKEA furniture because sometimes it's the easiest way to get it here, set it up.
yeah.
And, oh my god, like, a chair I bought at IKEA maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, that chair now costs I paid $50 for the chair, I have 2 of them. You sat in it, the one in my
Yeah.
bedroom. That chair is now 150.
Well, my immediate thought on that is tariffs because it's a
That's what I
country.
was thinking too, but still, Justice for Owners is saying, or they're adding side hustles, which may turn into a full-time thing. I think a lot of people have multiple side hustles.
I've
One
got
of the
one.
things I
Yeah,
always teach is multiple streams of income. And that doesn't mean you have to do multiple things, but like think of it in terms of this. And this is not a niche thing. This is literally the best way to ensure recurring revenue. You have, like, I'm a coach, right? I have my private work. That's not recurring. I mean, some of it goes on for a certain amount of time, 6 months, a year, that on private, some of it's 1 hour, just one off. But then I have coaching programs, group programs that go on month after month. One of them's a year long. One of them is 12 weeks, 13 weeks long, right? Then I have my monthly program. So I have, I think, 7 streams of income coming in, and they're all coming on different things. Do you still have your phone on? Because I am
but it's on, but it's turned down. The volume's turned down.
no, turn the volume off because I can hear it.
That can't be possible.
Yes, it's picking it up. Your mic's picking it up.
Okay. There.
Cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
So anywho, yeah, like I have although and then I have my health stuff, right? I have Rife
Mhm.
and I have 1, 2, 3 income streams from the health side of my practice. So I have like 10 streams of income. Oh, and then there's podcast. I get paid for ads. And then there's my book. I get royalties off of that. So I have several streams of income.
And what you're doing, and once again, as your CEO, your chief encouragement officer, what you're doing is walking your talk, because as you have grown knowledge wise, you see an opportunity when you enrich yourself to help others with Rife, with all the programs, with biomagnetism, all these things that you are curious about. You embraced it and you figured out a way to help others with it. So the example you're setting with the income generator is a perfect example of exactly how you have laid out what you do and the insights that you have discovered through the course of your growth the last 30
Typically,
some
I
odd
just
years.
I offer the things people need. I mean, I'm usually ahead of the curve on seeing the patterns of what people need before they come into their own view. I mean, we've been talking about the need for people to create their own incomes for how many months now? How many months have I been talking about this, or years? I've been saying it's gonna move to self-employment. And that was back during the COVID
Yeah.
stuff. I talked about that. Some people embraced it and were ahead of the curve. And now we're at the place where if you want to survive and not have to worry about someone going to steal your income, a lot of people are realizing, well, shit, yeah, I need to do something. But then a lot of people, they're doing DoorDash, they're doing Uber, they're doing Uber Eats, they're doing Instacart, side hustles just to pay the bills. I say, and this is what this season's podcast is about, really getting your mind wrapped around the power we hold as the people. Where do we put our time, our money, our energy? Do we give it to corporations, or do we give it to individuals doing their own thing?
Yeah.
Where do you think we should put it? Because I know where I think we should put it, and I think that it sends a message and it changes the game.
When you begin to focus in on that and make that part of your energy, and I think you and I have spoken about this before, like when I do eat out, although I'm eating out a whole lot less because of my new meal plan and stuff, when I do eat out, I purposely focus in on mom and pop businesses as opposed to, and I know that the argument can be made, even though it's a franchise, whatever the business may be, that money stays here. Well, not always, because franchises pay a franchise fee to the corporate mom and pop. So there is money that leaves the market. A mom and pop, say a restaurant where I know the couple and they know me, that money stays here.
Right.
All of it stays here and gets recirculated. So I consciously, and we can all do this with where we eat, where we shop, who we patronize and how we spend our money. That's the ultimate vote, is where we spend our money. When you start to do that, and everybody does, the community does feel a whole lot better, I think.
Justice Runner saying eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, reselling. Those are all great streams of income. And because you're not locking it onto one platform, which I see a lot of people doing, they're just locked into one. Look at how many people on TikTok got screwed when Oracle took over. I mean, there are TikTok shop affiliates that are not getting their content seen anymore. They marked a lot of videos as, or a lot of accounts as business, or maybe all of them as business accounts now. So you're not getting the views. Their sales have dropped tremendously. Creator rewards are down. YouTube changed the game on video clicks and all of that stuff as well. So when it comes to even these selling sites like eBay's it's gone away, it's come back. Like, L truly, you can't just put it
Yeah.
on one platform either, and I hope people understand that.
But to that end, I will once again applaud you and give you some credit, because when the idea was just being posited that the Chinese were going to have to let go of the American side of TikTok, you didn't sit around and wait like most people said, okay, I'm going to wait and see what happens. I'm going to sit here for a little bit, and then if the rules change, then I'll pivot. You were pivoting while everybody else was sitting there saying, I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
Well,
So that,
TikTok was one of my last platforms I added. I've been on Facebook forever, and I've been on YouTube. I created a new a new YouTube account, um, and then I went on to Substack when TikTok started to wane. I jumped over to Substack last year and started to build that out. And then I decided I'm going to put it on my own damn platform, my own blog, and honor that first. And there's a reason I did that. For those of you, how many of you have your own websites? Very curious. I want to teach you something if you do, because there's a reason why I am doing what I do in the order in which I do it for my business, because I watch all of the tech changes and trends and all of that stuff. And there's some things about websites a lot of people are not paying attention to right now, that if you've been burned by platforms in the past, these social platforms, you really need to start paying attention to. But I want to see who's actually listening, and are you interested in it? Because I'll teach you what you need to know if you want to know it.
Well, I think, well, first of all, I'm very interested, although I don't have my own personal website. And as an aside, I will tell you that I went back to yours today. I had a little time in between jobs at my primary hustle, and the updates that you've done on your website are just spot on. And
So, yeah.
I encourage people to check out Bernadette's website. And if you haven't been there before, you're not going to see the differences. But she has worked on and updated her website to really focus in on who she wants to help. And that helps immensely when you hit a website. They tell you exactly who they are, exactly what they do, and exactly how they can help you. In no uncertain terms. They don't.
Well, I rebranded. I
Yeah.
always, like every few years, I think every 3 years I do a rebrand. This time I did a rebrand and a reposition completely, just because coming back to work after having cancer, I really needed to dial some stuff in for myself, time-wise, and in who I'm talking to and what I'm offering and when I'm offering and how I'm offering. Things change, you have to change. But anyone that has their own brand, your brand always needs a refresh. You can't use unless you're Coca-Cola, but even Coca-Cola, how many times have they changed their branding and their font?
Aren't they still the real thing?
Yeah, but think about, like, the design of the old Coke cans, how many times have they changed it? Same with Pepsi. Like, every company refreshes their brand. You have to modernize it. Hey, Brenda over on the TikTok, how are you? So, yeah, there's a lot of things that I think if people understood about how to position themselves, their products, their services online, would really lean into making a lot more money. Because the way you talk about things, even products or even resold products, it does matter. You have to word it a certain way to get people to pay attention.
And this is probably the best lesson that one learns when you're trying to figure out who your audience is. Most people start with trying to throw the biggest net possible, but if you focus in and try to figure out who your audience is, and I don't want to say narrow the focus, but to appeal to the folks that most need what product or service you're providing, as opposed to throwing a big net, you're going to be much more successful a lot quicker than trying to throw out a net that appeals to everybody possible, because first and foremost, it's impossible to appeal to everyone.
Yeah, everyone. One of the modules in the foundations course is called "Everyone Isn't an Audience." It's not. Everyone is not an audience. You can try. I mean, you're not Mr. Beast,
Yeah.
and even Mr. Beast, I'm not his audience.
And well, you and I have had this conversation, but the mindset is important, because I've been a member of the media since the late 70s, to show you how old I am. But the number one, say that the example I often use when I was coaching people is the number one radio show in any given market probably has a 3 or 4 share in the morning between 6 and 10, which is the morning drive for us. And what that means is, of the 100% of folks that are out there, you've got a 4 share of the audience, which means 96% of the folks out there aren't listening to you.
Right.
Now, there are 2 ways to take that. You can either focus in on the folks that are there and you serve them, super serve them, so they stay there and give you the biggest return, or you can worry about the 96% that never listen to you. And once you get into the mindset of serving the folks that are there, it's infinitely easier to be successful and have a good attitude when you're trying to super serve the 4% of the folks that listen to you, as opposed to the 96% that aren't listening to you.
No, everybody. I mean, even at this rate, the way I make content, I talk a lot about politics. I've never talked about politics as much as shit. I wasn't into politics. I'm still not into it, but at this point, politics are ruling our actual lives and interfering with our lives. And I've been very vocal against some advice. And at this point, it is because I want to attract the people that think like me, believe similar to me. You don't have to believe everything I believe, but like I want to find my people. And I think that's one mistake a lot of people make is not finding their people. You don't know who you're talking to. You really don't. Like I don't care if red hats don't listen. I don't care if they don't become my clients. I don't want to work with them. They're very selfish people. Why would I want them as my clients?
Yeah.
And I've been told like, "Oh, you're leaving money." I don't care. That's who I am. Like I'm an honest person who cares about people. Those are the people I want to attract. Honest people who care about people.
Pretty
That's my
simple.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that plays into what I was just describing. You can focus in on trying to convince those other people, or you can focus in on the folks that you think a lot like and want to build your sense of community and focus in on that. And I think there are a lot of people that want to grow their audience by trying to turn people or have people pivot. When if you just focus on the folks that are already there and that are like you, that's the way you're going to organically grow, because the ultimate, and you know this because you've gotten referrals from clients that you helped. They refer you to somebody else. The success stories breed more success stories. If you focus in on the success stories, you're by your very nature going to grow organically. It's a lot slower, I admit that, but if you focus in on the successes, it's easier, I think, long term than it is trying to.
Justice Browner is saying the right people will find you. You have a circle of people. I do have a circle of people. I've been at this for so long. I have an amazing group of people, you included, Justice Browners, that have been following me for years, and I love it because we actually have worked together. We know things about one another's private lives. Like it's not just some strange sort of distant relationship. I take very serious anyone who comes to work with me, like anyone, whether you're coming into a group or you're coming to work with me one on one. To me, it's a huge honor. And
Yeah.
I'm going to treat it like that. And I like to develop relationships from that. I'm not one of these people who are like, Tony Robbins, who stands on a stage. Did I say that loud enough? Who stands on a stage and talks at you and doesn't care about you and your life and why you're here. I care. I want to know because I want to know what I can personally do to help you reach the goals that matter to you.
the,
Because
the,
I
tou-
mean, honestly, I don't do this for vanity and I don't do it for myself.
the
I've
tough
lost
part.
people over the years. They're not the right people. I think all of us, honestly, Justice Froners, I think, especially since 2016, a lot of us have had people leave our lives and separate away, and their true colors came out. For whatever reason, well, we know the reason. From an energetic standpoint, people have gotten more brazen about their selfishness, and they seem to think that it should be celebrated. Personally, I think those people, in fact, there was a video I was telling my dad today. I watched this video. Um, Someone reposted it or did a stitch about it. This is Christian guy, and he's like, "Some of us aren't struggling. Some of us have God." And the guy's response was classic. It was so good. He said, "Okay, Mr. Christian, so what you're basically saying is, screw those of you who are suffering. All we care about as Christians is that we're doing okay and you're not. That all you manage to do was prove how selfish you are and how ungodly you are. And I thought, you know what? That was probably one of the best videos I saw today. So I closed my phone after that. So I was like, "It's good," you know? But here's reality. There that guy has his following, his crew, the one who did the original video. Those aren't my people.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm grateful that they put videos out so that I know, don't go there. Don't
There,
go
I
there.
mean, I think
He's
that's
throwing her hold on. We actually became friends online besides for both being in the same course, yep, we're in that same thing. I think someone asked what activities you liked as a child. We both said the same thing, horses, gymnastics, etcetera. Yeah. I mean, that's how you find your people, right? You share
yeah.
stuff.
But I mean, that's part of human nature and the course of our journeys. Everyone doesn't stay with you forever. There are folks that are supposed to come and teach you something, or are supposed to come and you teach them something, and then they move on. There are certain folks that yet stick. I get that part, but the losses that happen, I don't consider them losses. They were just chapters in my life, chapters in my book, and for whatever reason, if that chapter came to an end, then my acknowledge or my acceptance of, and I've gotten far better at this since you've begun helping me with acceptance, is that you accept that has come to an end, which means there's somewhere else I need to go. There's more growth to come. So uh, I think the idea,
Some relationships have an expiration date.
yeah,
I mean, that's just reality. Some relationships, whether by death or by different paths, have an expiration date, and we have to honor those expiration dates. Some I mean, I truly believe that we come into each other's lives to learn a lesson, to bless one another, or to teach a lesson, right? Like, there's this constant interaction. Some people come in to trigger you to show you where you need to grow. Some people come to bless you because they were brought on your path to do just that, but they're maybe not meant to stay. I think we make a mistake when we think people have to stay.
right. Or we spend the energy to try to hold on to something when it's time to go. And yeah, and but yeah, I
Justice
just,
for Owners are making a whole lot of good points tonight in chat. I agree about the people who show themselves, believe them. Some people are just mean and selfish, let them go. I just posted one of the clips from the podcast episode for season 2, episode 1 tonight. And one of those clips literally was about Trump saying yesterday, um,
I don't care about people and their
yeah,
finances.
I don't care. I don't care, you know, blah, blah, blah about the Americans Financial Institute. I don't think about them. I don't think about anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, we know. And it
that's
shows.
his,
And you
that's
said
his
it
life.
out loud.
Yeah, but that's the way he's always been. For people that now say I don't, I made a mistake voting for him. He was that way back in the '70s. He's always been that way.
Always been the way yeah, nothing about him has changed. It's
If,
only gotten more demented, more selfish, and more abusive.
yeah, I mean
If
Maya
there's anything
Angelou.
that changed, it's that. It's gotten more extreme.
I mean, Maya Angelou said it right when she said, "When somebody shows you who they are,
Believe them.
believe them."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and he's always been a grifter.
Always, always, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Welcome
I
in,
mean,
Lori. Hey, Angelica. Yep. It's
I,
it's a crazy, crazy world we
but
live
I
in.
mean, even someone like that, there's something to learn. Even if you want to learn that I don't want to be like that. I mean, there were certain lessons that my parents taught me that I took away from them, stuff that I didn't want to do as much as I loved them. And I learned a lot of positive stuff toward the end when they decided just to retire and do nothing. I've had this conversation with my sisters, and I said, they showed me that that's not what you want to do. You want to be as productive and you want to be as vibrant for as long as you possibly can. And the takeaway I took from my parents toward the end of their life was, I don't want to be sedentary like they decided to do. It was their conscious choice, and we respected that. We didn't try to change them. But my takeaway from that was, I don't want that. So there are lessons to be learned everywhere. You just have to pay attention and decide what you want to take away from that circumstance.
again, we're always learning, we're always teaching.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Um, yeah, so I was telling Andy, I've been adjusting this foundations course, the business foundations follow-up course to the income generator blueprint, which he did already. And it's a monster. I had to take some of the modules out. I removed, let's see, I think, what did I say? 10 lessons?
Yeah.
3 modules. 10 or 15 lessons, I think, came out. I had to remove some because it was just getting too much for people who are just starting businesses, but I'm trying to not leave anything out. Um, the first half of that course is up, it's ready, and it's released. So if y'all are looking at starting something new, I'm gonna tell you before you even think about foundations, go do the income generator blueprint. If you haven't taken my free archetype quiz, income archetype quiz, you should go do it because it's highly accurate. Justice for Owners, did you take that? I can't remember if I saw your name come through on my list. Brenda, I know you did. Who else? Angelica, I thought I saw your name come through too. Was it accurate?
It,
Tell me in the chat, was it accurate?
it is not only accurate, it is fun, and it makes you think because although the answers are multiple choice, the answers get you to think before you choose one of
Pick
the
one.
answers. Yeah.
I
And
had to I had to I literally had to iterate that quiz and the answers and then the scoring, the weighting 3, 4 times. I think the quiz went through 4 iterations. You did the one
Mhm.
from the email. Was it accurate for you, the outcome? I only have 1 quiz out right now, the income archetype, so you must have done it. I don't know if I saw your name come although I haven't been checking my emails.
You've been
I've
busy.
been busy. I've been busy. I was curious if it was accurate for you. Everyone I've talked to so far has said, "Oh my god, really accurate." But, there's always that one that maybe come back that wasn't accurate. I don't know. I'd like to hear from those of you who've taken it.
What
If you haven't
what
taken it and you wanna know, basically, the income archetype quiz, it did tell me a few things about how I operate. Ah, interesting. So the income archetype quiz tells you currently if you have what it takes to earn your own income and what income archetype you are. And there's 5 archetypes. There's the hidden gold mine, the emerging expert, the solutions builder, the seeker, and the caged visionary. And I've written profiles for each one of them because typically there's about 5 main archetypes. Now you could have hundreds of different archetypes, but to try and keep it simple, because I can't branch logic that many archetypes, so I did 5 major ones based on the way people typically are gonna show up, and with my 80,000 client sessions throughout the years, like, what I've seen repeated, repeated, repeated. So this is based on my own experience, my own references, what I've seen in the marketplace, and the people I've talked to. It is accurate.
and you're right, there are probably subcategories under the 5 main ones. As accurate as mine was, I I have a tendency to think if someone comes back and says, "That's not me," or "I don't agree," to me, that tells me maybe they weren't being honest in answering, or secondarily, they aren't ready to hear what the archetype is telling them. So, uh, and that's based upon how accurate almost
None
everything.
of them are negative, though. Like,
No,
none of the archetypes are negative. Even the seeker, someone who's not sure what they're doing and they're just at the beginning stages of even considering, like, could I make money on my own? Or they're just hustling a bunch of side gigs. Like, that's not a bad archetype. At the end of every single archetype on that quiz, it tells you what your next steps are. Like, this is what you should consider, right? And then gives you a path to get there. So they all have their own general things that you can learn. Justice
Um,
Frowner is saying, yes, I run my own business, so it reflects that because of the
So,
way you answer the questions. Like it's literally the way you answer the questions.
and it's like any other program, garbage in and garbage out. The answers are only going to be as good as the input. And because I am
You're
sort of
talking
a
about the generator. You're not talking about the quiz.
no, but there's a linkage here, and since I'm one of your beta testers, when you do put programs together, why and how I know what you do and this program is as accurate as previous ones, because there's a common thread that runs through my stuff, whether it's the Astro Blueprint or whether it's the Vedic astrological forecast, the profiles and the way it describes me and the way it looks at what I do and how I have done it and why I do it, it all matches up. So that tells me every time Bernadette does a project, when she says it's ready for me to try, I know
It's
that it's
ready.
going to be good and it's going to be accurate because there's a common theme that runs through all the stuff that she's taken me through that has brought clarity and actually cleared a lot of stuff up in reference to why I do what I do and why I like the way there was some validation into the Vedic astrological forecast. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So there, for me, there was some validation to it, but there's a commonality that runs through those threads that proved to me that Bernadette's work is very intricate and it is very spot on. So that's why whenever anybody asks me about her, I say nothing but you need to check it out. You do.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I
It's
like
well,
I like
true.
having you as a cheerleader. I like having you as a coaching client. I like having you as a cheerleader. I like having you as a producer. I like having you as a friend. My
I
aunt blessed me with that when she passed away. I mean, you know,
But you know what? That's a
we'd
great
known. I
example.
mean, we had the family connection for decades. Decades.
Yeah,
You and I
but
met in person the first time in 2014.
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, with you and
2014 when I was in
your
Vegas.
you and your brother Walter, Wally.
Was that?
Uh,
No, that wasn't 2014.
that
That
was
was prior to
yeah, that was
2014.
earlier.
That was during the what was I there for? What was I in Vegas for that time? I
I
don't
don't
even
know,
remember. I do
but
remember what you're talking about because
yeah,
my brother was there. Was
and we
that
have
during the Marine Corps
we have
thing?
pictures of that one. And we
The
have pictures
Hawaii
of
Marine Corps reunion? Was that one that?
um, your dad came to one of those, but not with, and maybe Walter came to visit when your dad was here. I don't remember, but
2014, I was there because a client flew me
right.
in and put me up at the Wynn for a few days. Who's gonna say no to that? I got put into a very nice suite at the Wynn for 3 or 4 days for free because one of my clients wanted from New York, one of my broker clients, investor clients, who I made millions for with the stuff that we worked on, um, wanted to hang out, and he's like, "You wanna go to Vegas?" And I was like, "Can my boyfriend come?" He's like, "I'll put you guys up." And he did, and we had amazing food. I don't remember what show we saw, but we did go to a show, and then I saw you and my aunt, and we
Mhm.
went to see the Chinese New Year stuff
Yeah,
at where was that? Bellagio?
in the Bellagio, the conservatory, the garden.
Uh,
Always
Bellagio.
a great display.
So that was in 2014, and then I never spoke to you again, even though I was talking to my aunt on the phone, your partner.
Mhm.
Um, Until a couple years before she died. I mean, she kind of backed off during COVID. I think during COVID, everything kind of got weird.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah,
there's once again there's a reason for everything, and I think our relationship is sort of indicative of that. The way you explain it is true. And we had crossed paths. I knew of you, and Maley spoke highly of you. And given your family history and dysfunction, you were the only one besides Uncle Dong and Auntie Sophie that she spoke highly of. So yeah, we crossed paths a couple of times in the 40 years that Maley and I were together. But I knew you had a connection with her. So when Maley did pass away, you were one of only two people on her side of the family that I personally contacted. In fact, you were the first one on her side that I personally contacted. And it sort of tells the story about how people, you can't force things. People move in and out of lives. And
At the
it
right
was meant
time.
to be here at this time in this place that you and I were supposed to connect. And Maylee made
And
that
then
possible.
coincidentally, his sister moved to San Antonio area at the same time I did in 2020. How weird's that? Just as
Yeah.
far as saying you can't say no to a suite in Vegas, not when it's the Wynn. They have the most comfortable blankets and pillows and beds. The Wynn's so sweet. I would never pay to stay there the rates that he paid, but I enjoyed it. Not gonna say I didn't enjoy it.
We stayed there a couple of times because Maylee was a live action poker player and she would get the rooms comped. So yes, the Wynn and the Venetian are beautiful places to stay on the Las Vegas Strip. I highly recommend both of those
They
places.
were really nice. It was really nice in
Yeah,
2014 because it was still it's still fairly new. I think the rooms still were fairly new. It was like that was 12 years ago?
yeah.
A long time
There,
ago.
there is a marked difference I will attest to because back then Steve Wynn still owned the Wynn, so there was a personal touch there. Sheldon Adelson still owned the Venetian. The Strip now is totally corporate, so all they honestly really care about is how much
Money.
you play, how much you lose. They track everything on your membership cards, so they know how much action they get from you,
Do
and
you know how
that's
many times I've had to replace those damn cards because I just leave them in a machine?
yeah,
Like, so many times. I it just you leave it in the machine and you walk away.
yeah,
I love synchronicity too, you know? And it took a while. I mean, when Andy contacted me about my aunt passing away, I let him know, "If you need to talk, let me know." And he was grieving a lot, and I just let it sit. I did not chase after him. I put an offer on the table and just said, "If you need to talk, I'm here." And he kinda went into his own little world for a while, and then he came out and he wanted to talk about her and talk about them and talk about the past, and we went there,
yeah,
and then we started coaching. And then
exactly.
things started moving rapidly for him, and it's been an amazing journey watching him heal and transform and grow.
And I have said it a number of different times, and I've said it on the live stream. I have grown more in the last 3 years than I grew in my previous 40, and that's a testament to the work that Bernadette does. And and I will say this about getting handed off. Bernadette's right. We had one conversation, I think, the week after Maylee passed away, and she made the open offer, call me anytime. And she would check in on me, text me occasionally, and ask how I was doing, and I would just say I'm okay, and I'll give her, I guess, some purposely. That's the ultimate lie, right? When somebody asks you how you're doing, you go, I'm fine. Then you know they're lying. So I kept telling her I'm fine, and then about 6 months into this process, Maylee came to me in a dream and said, "Call Bernadette." And that's when I picked up the phone and I called Bernadette. And I said, "I guess Maylee thinks I need your help." She came to me in a dream and said, "Call you." So here I am. And that's when the process began.
And he knew I was a psychic.
Yeah.
He wanted messages too. He's like, "Does she ever talk to you about my" I was like, "I haven't seen her," you know? I know she's around. I have a lot of people on the other side that show up, but they don't really show up if unless there's something that needs to be said. And a lot of times, like I told Andy, I don't even typically do a mediumship reading for people unless the person's been gone for 6 months, because otherwise you get attached and you try to keep them alive, and it doesn't allow for the grief process to take place. We have to let that take place, and grieving is hard. It's not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be, unfortunately, painful, Not because the other person is suffering, because 'cause they're on the other side happy and, playing poker, but the ones those of us who are left behind are the ones that are grieving the fact that we can't see them or hear them. They can see and hear us just fine, honestly.
That, that's
They're
why Billy
checking in on
Baker,
us all the freaking time, moving
that's
your
why Billy Baker
keys and
comes out and
flashing
says,
lights.
that's why when you recommended Billy Fingers, that helped immensely explain the circumstances, and that also helped me through the process.
Didn't you watch What Dreams May Come too, didn't you?
In fact,
That
a
was
couple of times.
I love that movie.
It's a
Y'all
well
wanna
done.
know my all-time favorite movie to the point where I have 2 DVDs of it, is Robin Williams' What Dreams May Come. It's the closest that I've ever seen a movie get to what it's really like on the other side and how things actually work, and y'all should watch it. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. It's old, but it's good.
But
And then the
it's one of
book,
those
The
it's one of
Afterlife
those
of Billy
Robin Williams
Fingers.
movies that's under the radar. When you mentioned the title, I had to pause and think about it for a while because it's not one of his popular movies, but I think that's actually him and Annabelle Sciorra. I think that's one of their best movies
It's
between
a
the two of them.
beautiful movie.
It's
If
well
you
done.
wanna understand how the universe actually works, what happens after you die, go watch that movie. It's a
And the movie
tearjerker, but it has a good ending.
and the movie's based upon a very well researched book. There was a lot of research that went into the book that the movie's based on. So yeah, I'd recommend it too. But I've seen that a couple of times. I've listened to Bernadette's book, Crooked Path to a Charmed Life, 6 different times, because you pick up different things every single time you listen to it. So I recommend all of those things.
Look who's here. Hello, Milo.
Hi, Milo.
You see Andy? He just winked at you. He likes seeing himself on camera. The camera's not tracking on him. If you put your head, don't make noise. God bless. Gross dog. Anywho, so yeah. Look, y'all, we are going into some interesting times in the upcoming months, and I wish I could tell you that come June things were going to settle down. I think things will settle a little bit in some ways. May is setting the stage. Like how we get through this month and how we got through April gives us a pretty good indication of what we're going to be looking at for the rest of the year. It doesn't lock in until August. So we still have a chance in June, the rest of May, June, July, to change things and pivot things. I'm going to tell you guys what I've been telling my private community, which Andy is a part of. Either you make changes that you're being pulled to make, but maybe you're too afraid to make. You make them consciously, deliberately on your own, or you're going to be dragged to make those decisions. They'll be made for you. And that goes for, let's just say, humanity in general. And I'm not saying that to scare anyone. I'm saying we got changes we have to make now. Some of you, you need to think about starting your own side gig. If you have a job, don't quit the job. Build something on the side. If you have a government job and you need to get out now. Check your runway. How much money do you have? How many months can you go? Start building connections now before you quit. But literally, like the government's, what we saw happen over the last little. That was weird. I don't know what happened. It said my connection cut off.
Yeah, it happened across all
All of them?
Yeah, because it happened on Facebook, or it happened on TikTok also.
So are we off the air?
No, you're back. We're all
I'm
back. It
on?
popped up. All the screens popped back up, and you're back.
What the heck is going on with Restream? Can you guys hear over on TikTok? I mean, over on everybody can hear okay.
YouTube.
That was so bizarre. Restream's been having issues lately. Like truly, Restream's been having issues with their streams. I know, I talk about the government, I cut out. So, no, for real, y'all, like,
Somebody's listening.
they're always listening. I swear, they're always listening. I know, I'm back now. It just said, like, "Oops, lost connection." The minute I started talking about the government, boom, stream gone. I didn't say anything bad, I was just saying if you have a government job. Oh, yeah, I was talking about what we've seen with government, agencies just being shut down and deleted, literally delete, and there's more coming. So, I know a lot of people, and I'm working with people right now privately that are leaving their government jobs. They never thought they would, but because of this administration, they have to. How sad is that? But doesn't mean that you can't make better income in the private sector on your
And
own.
for those of us that have been a part of Bernadette's private community for the last couple of years, she's been talking about this and warning us, for lack of a better word, about the deconstruction that was going to happen. This conversation with Bernadette began 2 years ago. So, for those of us that are in that circle, we're not surprised. We may be surprised about the decisions that we have to make. And some of it depends on your perspective, right? Because there are those of us that, as funny as it sounds, are thankful that Trump is as big a jerk as he is, because his transparency is showing what we need to do to change things and deconstruct and rebuild what we want, the concept of what we want as a government going forward. So, although at this point we're unhappy with him, I think we have to also be thankful that he's a big enough idiot to be so transparent. He thinks that he is going to get his way. He's not. But we have to embrace the change that is going to come our way. And Bernadette's been talking about that for the last 2 years.
Longer than that, but
Yeah.
yeah. Consistently online for the last 2 years because I'm just not having it. I'm not staying quiet through all the crap that's going on. Justice Roan is saying I've been feeling it, so could see it coming too. And for the people that are waiting, that are still applying to jobs and you're running out of money or your unemployment's running out, stop waiting. Like, find out what you can do on your own. I'll show you guys. Let me see if I can make this smaller so it fits. Um, I'll show you. Let me see. Okay,
Yeah. Take me off and put it on the screen.
okay. Hold
Yeah.
on.
There you
No,
go.
we're just gonna drop down. So, after you take the blueprint, right, or the quiz, after you take the quiz, this is where everybody needs to go. Take the income generator blueprint. It's $147, but this is inside the course. These are all the sections. What your experience is, we excavate there. What your effortless zone is, what people come to you for, what your non-negotiables and values are, what your fears, your block, your physical reality is, joy, work, play that wouldn't feel like work, what are your life priorities and human drives, financial reality, and your risk tolerance is super important. And then you get your blueprint. But then once you get your blueprint, we take it another step further. Okay, now that you know things that you can offer, skills that turn into products or services, what do you do with them? That's what this section, now what, is for. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah.
Um, hold on, I have to shrink it down a little. Yeah, there. I'm looking on the TikTok side. And then you have your first move, right? Here's what you're gonna do. So this isn't like taking the income generator blueprint is not just fancy, like, fun information. This is like actual actionable stuff. You're gonna walk away, and Andy's had it done.
Yeah. So
Um,
there are two things here that they need to understand. First and foremost, you built this
I did.
from square one. This is your creation. And secondarily, it's not, as I said earlier, it's not a generic one size fits all. It's based upon you, your responses, and it's going to give you immediately actionable options. And it gives you options. It's not saying this is what you need to do. It gives you options, and then you are
Multiple
able to
options.
decide multiple options. So then you are able to decide what you want to do going forward. And it's tailored to you. And Bernadette built this, and she's tested it on a number of different people, including me. And I've said it, and I'll say it again. It is spot on, and it gives you stuff that is immediately actionable. And she should probably charge more, but she's not going to. That's her nature. But
I
it
know
is
I
well,
could. I
yeah.
know I could, but charging this is because
I think we,
it's losing is why does it keep losing connection?
I
Anywho,
know you're
I
back.
built it because Spirit said people are hurting right now. People are trying to figure out, why am I not getting callbacks from all of my applications? Why is there no jobs? It's like, okay, well, stop waiting for a job. I went through this, y'all. I went through this back in the 90s as a single mom with a little kid living on my boat. And the company I worked for got shut down by the FTC, FBI, SEC, even the US Postal Department. Like,
The
they
whole
all came in guns
the whole alphabet shut
blazing.
you down.
They did, because my boss was running investment side of our company. We two sides of that. We had an investment, plus we owned a bank. And then the leases that for equipment leasing, I ran that side of the marketing too. I generated over $6 million for that company in less than 6 months, which is unheard of. And my marketing was that good. And then the company got shut down. Why did I go to the supermarket today? Got 5 items. It was $28 for nothing. Dude, I went to the supermarket yesterday and bought some cheese, a cheese platter. And it was on sale with a coupon from HEB. Then I gotta go. It keeps. Are we back? Yeah, we're back.
And it appears to might.
It's back. I don't know what's going
I
on.
was gonna say,
Something's
could it
up
be
with the internet,
could it be
people, and it's
spectrum?
not my internet. It's actually the streaming platform. Anywho, I get to the checkout and he charged me $20. Boar's Head cheese next to mine was 16. I was like, this shouldn't cost $20. It said $13.99, and here's the coupon. And he goes, well, you're welcome to go, take a picture of it, and then I'll price match. Price match my ass. That was your advertising. I went my happy ass. I made that cashier wait, walked to the deli, took a picture, brought it back, and he goes, oh, I see what happened. They labeled it wrong. They're charging you for a meat platter instead of a chip. I said, that is fully on you people. And my dad had it happen with shrimp the other day. He went to buy me some shrimp, the little shrimp cocktail.
Mhm.
And they were trying to charge him $29 for something that should have been $8. And they go, oh, sorry, it was mislabeled. 2 times in a week it was mislabeled, and not for the customer's benefit. No.
My side hustle is in e-commerce at a local grocery store, a well-known one, but that is rather commonplace. And that's why, as a shopper, even before I became e-commerce, I would always, when I was checking out, watch the register to make sure that the prices were accurate, because they often aren't. Let's just put it that way.
I'm gonna have to get off.
I don't think it's purposeful.
We keep losing.
Oh. Have you joined? Add to the stream. Let's go.
So bizarre. I don't understand what's happening on this stream. I have to go. Like, they keep knocking me off. I don't. I'm not talking about prices.
Yeah, we're
talking grocery about prices.
But you're right. I mean, there are people. I'm on the e-commerce side of the store I work at, and there are people that are buying only 1 or 2 items. And then I had a shop yesterday where they had 58 items and they paid $740. That was their grocery bill.
That's
It's
insane.
Yeah,
That is insane.
that is insane. But
Justice for owners saying if you don't check the receipt, they overcharge you sometimes and you don't realize until after. It's happened multiple times. I've bought things and then it didn't end up in my bag. Had to go back to the store and
yeah,
say, "Where'd you put my shit?" Like, I was just here. I got home 5 minutes from here and I'm missing 3 big items, like $20 worth of like, for real.
yeah,
You had to
and
reboot before you got kicked off your entire internet? Something's
uh,
up with the internet tonight.
system. Well, who was it that was not SpaceLink?
Was
Starlink.
knocked down?
Starlink was totally shut down today. I don't know how for how long
Mm.
it was, but
I thought they were satellite.
yeah, and I thought they were. That's the reason that they couldn't be whatever it was, but the whole system was down. I was earlier this morning. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what time, but Starlink, the whole system was down. Yeah,
Don't kick us off. We still believe he brought prices down on day one. The economy is great. We're buying that.
exactly.
Leave us on the air. We'll say whatever you want us to say. We
The price
believe
of
in
gas.
you.
The price of gas has gone down. I'm enjoying life. Thank you very much.
We're not suffering. No, not at all. Love the fact that I don't have health care, even though I'm not even a year in the clear with cancer. But hey, keep doing you, orange buffoon. Go ahead, cut me out. I don't care.
The
Assholes.
in reference, since we're still talking about shopping, I will say one thing about this new thing called dynamic pricing. And depending what
Ooh,
stores you're in, they have those digital price tags in front of all the products
love it.
now. That is not your friend because it's going to allow those stores to literally, if they want to change prices each and every day based
I
upon
wanna
supply
say
and demand.
something. Not a like, so my this just reminded me of a conversation my dad asked me earlier today because you guys saw the data center they just approved in Utah, that huge gargantuan data center in
Yeah,
Utah.
Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank fame. Yes.
Yeah. So, Andy lives in Nevada. Number 1, the people of was it Reno?
In northern Nevada, up at Lake Tahoe, which
Lake
split
Tahoe.
between California and Nevada. Yeah,
That's right, Linda lives up there, Dave's
yeah,
wife,
yep.
ex-wife. Um, Lake Tahoe residents are out of water and been told to and this is no, they're out of electricity, they're told that what was the story? I sent it to you, I can't
They
remember now.
soon will
I'm
be.
thinking of 2 different stories.
Yeah, they've been notified by NB Energy, which is the major power supplier for both northern and southern Nevada, that next year they are going to have to find the folks on the Nevada side of Lake Tahoe. They're going to have to find their own source for power because the data center up there is taking all their power. Now,
Electricity people.
yeah, it's a different dynamic here in southern Nevada because, of course, we've got 2 million people here, and the casinos wouldn't put up with that. The folks, the data centers here, and the server farms that are primarily owned by a big company called Switch, they already have put together their own energy plan that is separate and distinct from Nevada Energy here in southern Nevada, so that we're protected. But I guess there aren't enough folks up in northern Nevada to protect themselves because
I don't
NV
think
Energy.
anyone thought about the fact that data centers could be prioritized for water and power. And here's the thing, it's already happening in Georgia too. Georgia
Yep.
residents have been told to conserve water when there's a data center near them that has sucked up 30 million gallons of water. And the residents are being told, "You need to conserve your drinking water, your bathing water," and literally not the data centers, the residents. I say this because my dad asked me, "Why?" He asked me today, "Why do you think they're building all these data centers? Do you guys know why they're actually doing it? It isn't for AI." Do you, Andy?
Yeah.
Bitcoin, digital currency, the control grid. That is why all these data centers are needed. It takes 10 minutes to process 1 Bitcoin. 10 minutes of processing power per 1 Bitcoin. If we go to digital currency, why do you need so many big, massive data centers? They want to go to digital currency. Then they get to control who has not. Number one, go watch Catherine Austin Fitts. Number two, these data centers then have to be built to process all of this currency. Doesn't matter if you and I don't have drinking water or electricity. They've already made that perfectly clear. Fuckers.
Yeah, there are a couple of means in which naturally this process is going to slow down, and it has to do with what's going on in the Persian Gulf. Access to things like helium and natural resources, raw materials that are not going to allow the chips that need to get made to be able to build the data centers. And I mean, you've got one, but down the road from you that I saw Mr. Global talk about, that the footprint is it's 5 square miles by 5 square miles. That's going to be the biggest. I mean, Mr. Wonderful says the one in Utah is going to be the biggest ever, but 5 miles by 5 miles, that's a pretty big digital footprint. It's huge.
Justice Fronter said Bernadette's been saying get solar, and we also need water filters at home, and you need barrels. You need catchment systems, not just filters. Like they have those Vivor water rain barrels that will catch water. Y'all need to get those. They have spigots on the end. You can put a hose on the end of it, because at least then you can flush toilets and stuff like that. I'm just saying, get a Berkey. Like I have a Berkey because it can filter through a bunch of stuff. But I also went onto Amazon and I bought white water purifier tabs. You need multiple ways to purify water. Justice Roner said Marfa, Texas. Yeah, it's not near me. That one that you're talking about, that data center.
Okay.
However, on the northeast side, by where your sister lives, I mean, NSA has a huge data center. Microsoft has a huge data center, and there's 2 more going in right over there. So you want to talk about out of water. That area gets pretty covered by drought pretty quick. I'm in an area that gets a decent amount of rain. We'll get rain when parts south of us do not. It's getting crazy, and all of this is just control, y'all. It's for the top people to make money. And if you're wondering, it isn't about AI. I know a lot of people think the data centers have to do with AI. The data centers have to do with Bitcoin and digital currency.
Yeah. When it comes to AI, what we need to watch is the stock market, because right now the growth in the market is fueled 70% about by AI activity. So when AI crashes, and it is going to crash, and it's going to crash at a faster pace than the internet did when the internet boom went bust, because the geometric progression, the speed at which AI is moving, is geometrically faster than the internet growth spurt, if you can believe that. And there are already private equity firms that are stopping writing checks for AI. And if you read any bit of Ronan Farrow's piece in the New Yorker on Sam Altman, that should scare the bejesus out of you. The guy that's running
on TikTok saying and surveillance. I think surveillance is a big part of it, but I honestly don't think they need all those data centers for surveillance. They're already doing the surveillance in the flock cameras, and they've hooked all of that up to normal servers. Okay, like that system's been in place since early 2020s. I mean, 2013 is when all of that stuff started to come around. People just weren't aware of it. Palantir's been around building this stuff out with the CIA. Those flock cameras and all of that are add-ons. That doesn't take that much processing power. I'm telling y'all, it has more to do with digital currency and Bitcoin mining. When you really look at why they need such large servers in every state, there are not that many people using AI for them to need those large data centers. However, if you're going to switch the entire financial system online to a digital currency where every dollar that passes through the system now takes 10 minutes of processing computing power, now you need data centers that size. You guys get it?
Yeah. The whole blockchain, the whole cryptocurrency setup.
We
Yeah.
don't want that shit. I don't want crypto.
No.
I don't want that to be our lives, because that is when authoritarianism, dictatorship has full control of who gets to eat, who doesn't. They just get shut your account down, disappear it. And there's no, I don't care what they say, there's no way to track it. Number one. Number two, it's backed by freaking nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's backed
Numbers
by,
on a screen.
it's backed by your belief in the system that it will be there tomorrow when you turn on your computer. You have to have faith. And if there's a saving grace for private equity groups, which I'm not a big fan of, because private equity groups own a lot of homes here in Las Vegas, and they're rentals. They refuse to sell them, and that artificially inflates the rental market and the housing market. But the thing about private equity groups, they demand a return on investment within a 3 to 5 year period. They're not seeing a return on investment when it comes to AI, so they're pulling back. The same thing is going to happen with crypto. They're not going to see a return on their investment, and the private equity investment is going to dry up. Or they may not even invest as much as they did in AI, because
I don't know that they care at this point, because I've thought about that a lot, right? The PEs. Like, I thought about it a lot, but here's the thing. The same 1% own the private equity firms as the 1% that owns every other freaking thing that's controlling the world right now.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think
their plan is to enslave.
Control. The plan is to control. You're right. But I think this is one instance in which greed is going to overrule their control aspects. And that's why they're going to get rid of Sam Altman at OpenAI eventually, because he's wasted all their money. He is a sociopathic liar, and they all admit it openly. And so they have to figure out a way to get rid of him. The same thing is going to happen when it comes to crypto. If they don't see a return on their investment, greed is going to overrule everything, and they're just going to shut it down.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Andy tends to be very optimistic about certain things and pessimistic about others. I'm more, I think, because of the things that I see that other people can't see and hear that other people can't hear. I'm more of I would consider myself a realist about stuff. As much as we don't want to see it go somewhere, this is the plan of where they're going to try and take it. I don't think that their plans are going to go the way they thought.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You and I have a job, and that is to do a Boston Tea Party type thing if they continue to push this, because there's only so much water on this planet. They're kinked out every solar project and wind project, and they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They make people think they can get wealthy by getting crypto and then take the average person's money so they lose it. I know. Oh, I know. There's a bunch of scams. I had someone present something to me and try to say that this is a really good investment, and Andy too. And it's like, do the research on the company. It takes you about 2 minutes, and you see all of the other countries they've already been prosecuted in, and they're after the people behind this crypto scam. And yet people are falling for it. Why? Easy money. They think easy. If it's easy money, if it's too good to be true, dude, it's too good. And it's not true.
I often say it, and it applies in just about every aspect of life. There are no shortcuts.
No. Sometimes you'll be blessed. There'll be times when you're blessed, but chances are even that blessing wasn't a shortcut. You earned it somewhere along the way that you've been paying the dues for. That's my belief, even when it comes to karma and being redeemed and victorious after a long period of bullshit. Like, truly. I lost a little on a few coins, did you? I'm just telling you guys, like, if you don't understand who built crypto, why they built it, why they're trying to push it, why this administration is moving so fast with it. He wants all of this shit in place so that these little authoritarians can just grab control.
Yep.
You talk about, have you ever seen that series? I mean, Hunger Games is one, but what was the other series? God, what was it called? Um, Woodland. The girl's name starts with an S. Not Shanice. Sure. What's
That's
her name? Starts with a
Shalene.
Shalene. Shalene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shalene Woolsey or Woodley.
Woodley, whatever her
Yeah,
name is.
yeah,
Do you remember she was in that series?
yeah.
Basically,
I know.
it was
It's
very,
with the guy whose character's name was Four. Uh,
yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Do you guys know which series I'm talking about?
it was.
There was,
I
like,
know which
several
one.
movies.
I can't remember the range of the movie. There were three of them. There's a trilogy.
Very dystopian. It's
Yeah,
very dystopian. There was a small little group of people who made all the money,
yeah.
and then
Kate,
everybody
Kate,
else was
Kate Winslet played a very good mean character.
Divergent.
Yeah,
Yes,
there you
Angelica,
go.
the Divergent series.
Yeah,
Yep. Divergent, Allegiant, what was the last? Was Allegiant the last one? I can't remember.
I can't
It's the
remember.
same deal. And look, they always put it out in movies to kinda give us a little, they do. They kinda reveal what they're gonna do, and people think, "Oh, that would never happen." Bullshit. Look at Terminator. Look at where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And Terminator was a little over the top as far as machines taking over the world, but the idea and the seed was planted that eventually that
I
is the
don't
way.
know because you and I have both seen videos from China of robots dancing like they're real human beings, and that wasn't AI; it was actual robots that were dancing. I mean,
Yeah, but then when they fall over, it's funny as hell. Like, they lose it. But, like, for real, if you read the book by Orwell, 1984, you know a lot of the stuff that he warned about's already happened, and it's happened within the last couple of years. This whole thing with Bitcoin, and if you compare it to what happened within the Divergent series and how did that end? Oh, that's right. The kids actually, that whole group had to go powerfully against the rulers because they were just, you either were doing what they wanted or you were getting rid of, period. End of
yeah.
story. We've already seen shit like that happening here.
The other thing we need to remember in reference to timelines, why they're doing all these changes at such quick pace. Carrot Top only has about 2.5 years left. He needs to grab as much money as he can with the power that he has before he leaves power.
I don't think he's gonna make it that far. I don't think he'll be live that far.
I agree.
Did
I
you
agree with
see?
you.
I'm gonna toot my own horn.
Go
Toot
ahead.
toot. So, remember I told you, it told Hidden Wisdom that in April and May, by the end of the month, that the allegiance between Bibi and the
Yeah.
US would start falling apart. Did you see the news report where Netanyahu said flat out, "We're not gonna accept any more money for military funding from the US. We're gonna break that off. It's gonna take a decade. We're gonna
Yeah.
break it off."
That's
He's
wishful
setting
thinking.
the stage right now because there's already a push-pull happening. They're still gonna take the money, people.
Yeah.
Don't let them lie to you.
That's wishful thinking on his part to think that they could exist without our check. So
Justice Roner saying he looked bad today going down the steps. He looks bad every day.
yeah.
He looks worse every day. He can barely keep his eyes open.
But I mean, if you look at Truth Social and Devin Nunes, who used to run it, just got kicked to the curb. Truth Social's values down 93%. So Trump's taking about as much money as he can out of that. His crypto, his meme business, he's the only one that's made money off of that. People that have bought into it. His sons, the biggest news story of the week, his sons with their phone business, which it was going to be a made in America phone. The $100 that 500,000 people put down, was just to reserve a space. And if they read the fine print of their agreement, it was not a guarantee of a phone. So they literally have lost, or the Suns have made $59 million. That's non-returnable, non-refundable from the 500,000 people that put down $100. The grifting
Typical
runs.
Trump University scam.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
Same
happened this week.
scam.
Yep. So for the folks, if you put down $100 on the premise that you were going to get a phone that was made in America, a Trump phone, that they never had any plans to do that. It was just to get your money.
And his followers, he did it to his followers.
Yep. 500,000 of
Saying
them.
what a grifter. Exactly.
Yep.
Erickson trying to make some money grab deals. I know. You know who else is there with him? And I said this on the podcast. Thiel and Musk.
Yeah.
As well as Eric. They all went together.
Yeah, I saw them coming down the steps on the plane when they got off the plane. I saw Eric right behind his dad.
Musk and Thiel. What are they doing in China?
But you know who they had to stop and pick up because they forgot to put him on the list? Was NVIDIA's head, Wang. For some reason, he wasn't invited to go meet the Chinese president.
Andrea is asking me, they're Majul dates. They're the Terrasol.
They're good.
Dates. They're yummy.
That's why they had to stop in Alaska, not to refuel. They had to stop and pick up one last person, the head of NVIDIA. For some reason, he wasn't on the guest list to go meet the Chinese president.
Yeah.
Yep. So
they are yummy. Joseph Bronner's like, so I have their sun-dried apricots in my room, and then I leave them at Jewel Dates in my office for when I'm recording and stuff, and I get like, need some sugar. Yeah, high sugar count. They're all natural though. I love them too. Dates are really good for you as well. Like I could live on dried fruit. I literally could. But I was like sitting here listening to Annie and I was like, man, I need some energy. And then I look over and I'm like, oh, look. Plus, Mr. Milo keeps coming over here trying to get snacks
oh, look at that. There he is.
Because he thinks I'm going to give him one. You want a treat? Because I have treats in here for him too. Milo has peanut butter treats. Sit.
He's been nice and quiet. Has he been laying there on his bed?
No, he's been laying over here waiting for me to give him attention or let him come on camera. He likes to be on video. Brindy used to stream on Twitch.
Uh-huh.
And Milo, you just had some dates too. They're so yummy. Milo used to sit in range of the camera so he could be a live streamer. Price of dates has gone up. So a 2-pound bag of the Terrasol organic on Amazon's $22, but that's for 2 pounds. That's why I buy them there. That's not a bad price.
For a 2-pound bag, that's a good price because we sell 16-ounce plastic containers over at my place, and it's like $14-15.
Yeah, no, I got a bag of the dates, the 2-pound bag, and a bag of my sun-dried apricots, which I prefer than the dehydrated ones because dehydrated ones I don't taste the same, and while they're black, they're healthier. And Terrasol's a really good company. They have goji berries and stuff like that too. But I like their stuff. So if you guys are looking for a brand, I've been eating this brand for a few years. I'll never go back. And way better than what you find in the store. A 2-pound bag of that stuff, that should last me a good couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 pounds of Majul Dates is a lot. Because let's see how much sugar's in it in one.
But there's no added sugar, correct? It's just
there's no added sugar, no, but you're still talking sugars. It's got, I can't see for shit. Oh, I have glasses on my head. It's like, where's my glasses? 10 grams. zero added sugar, zero fat, 11 grams carbohydrates, 7 grams of sodium. Not bad. But it
But
has
see, when
calcium, it has iron, and it has potassium.
But see, when you're eating it, which you know, and I know, that's one of the reasons I've quit drinking juices, is when you're eating the fruit, your body is able to process the sugar slowly, the way it's supposed to. When you drink, say, orange juice or pineapple juice, or my favorite, guava juice, the amount of sugar in there, your body cannot process that the way it's supposed to. I'm
Just as
supposed to.
Rona saying, dried apricots usually have sulfur added. The organic ones from Terrasol, if you look them up, they're dried in the sun and they're black. They're not peach looking. They're sun dried. And they're so good. I don't think they have sulfur in them. I would have to look, but pretty sure that they don't. And like these dates are extra fancy ones. It literally says extra fancy on the bag. I have to be careful. Energy, potassium, medjool dates, extra fancy, nutrient dense. Oh, non-GMO, super important. I always check
There you
for
go.
that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's been verified. Non-GMO verified. I like the organic dried apricots with nothing added. The uglier looking ones. Yeah, the black ones. I eat the black ones, the sun-dried ones from Terrasol. And Terrasol has a bunch of superfood stuff. I like that brand. And again, third party certified, tested, non-GMO, blah, blah, blah.
You, the, to use the phrase, sometimes the uglier ones are actually the ones that are better for you. But we've been taught that, and apples are a great example. You know, when you go into the store, the organic apples generally don't look as shiny and new and nice than the regular apples.
They
But
don't have the wax on them either.
yeah, exactly. But they're the organic apples with the lack of luster and the shine that they don't shoot on and like they do with the regular ones are the ones you should be buying. But people are, the mindset is, I like the apples that are nice and shiny and new and pristine. That's not what you should be eating.
I had to stop eating grapes. The last time that my dad brought home grapes tasted so much like chemicals. And I'm like, that's it. No more. I won't eat it. It tasted like freaking weed killer. I don't know what they're spraying on that stuff. I've never tasted it so strong in my entire life. I used to grow grapes in my dome, so I know what fresh grapes taste like. I've never had to use any kind of pesticides on my grapes ever. They're all organic, and that shit tasted good. Anywho, all right, completely off topic. Um, I will be
No,
back.
you're
We will be
you're
back at some
unfiltered.
point.
Nothing is out of bounds with you.
That's true. Unfiltered's unfiltered. I live in the country. We eat fruit right off the tree. I'm trying to get um I'm trying to get some figure out some fruit trees that we can have here. Talking my dad into it. I just got him to agree to let me have some flowers aside from my rose bush on one side of the house in the shade on this behind this wall because it stays shady behind that wall. Um hydrangea hydrangea how do you say that? Hy-
Hydrangeas.
Yeah, I'm gonna plant some of those. Me and Brittany were talking about it, so I'm gonna bring some heat tolerant hydrangeas in for on that side in the shade, and then he's pouring me a cement walkway from my house to the office because I'm tired of getting eaten by fire ants and bugs, and then I'm gonna put down um, a nice patio out front of my office where I can put my table with my umbrella and chairs in front of my office. And then I'm gonna buy new patio furniture. I found a couch I want, like a patio couch.
There you go.
I am. Can you do citrus? So I have lemon and lime in containers before, like, so 2021, the year that the first winter we were here, we had that big freeze. My neighbors had a big orange tree and it freaking died because of the freeze. And so I don't think anyone's growing citrus anymore here unless you're able to bring it in the house. I would like a little mandarin orange tree, like a little, but I don't think they're little. They're big too, right? I would like an avocado tree, but I haven't seen avocados do so well here, probably because of humidity, but I'm not sure. Our humidity levels are extremely high. We can do figs.
Hmm.
I mean, but how often do you just go, "Oh, let me grab a fig off the tree," like, right? So, yeah, if I could find a small enough, like, mandarin orange tree, that would make me very happy. I would like a little mandarin tree.
That'd be
It's got
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Because then I can bring it in the winter and
Yeah.
overwinter it in the house with my lime and lemon tree. They stay in the house in the winter, and then they come out and start,
Yeah.
start producing.
Yeah, my sister Mary and C have potted plants, but they're plants. They're not growing anything. They have a tea leaf plant. They have a peacocky plant. It's all plants from Hawaii, which are very, susceptible to the freezes. So they're constantly putting it back in the garage when the weather gets really cold.
I know there is a lot of variety of figs, but, like, I don't just wanna eat figs. Like, if I could have a date thing, I would go out and eat dates off the tree, right? Like, apricots. Apricots have that stuff I actually like to eat. Cherries, apples, pears, oranges, pineapple. Pineapple takes so freaking long. So, but it just we gotta figure it out. Right now, I'm more concerned with growing vegetables for the fiber and for the protein, the animal or the plant protein in that. So, yeah. Anywho, all right. I don't know when I'm coming back. I have to finish Foundations project. I did get the episode up tonight. It launches in about 30 minutes on YouTube if you guys wanna watch episode 2 or season 2, episode 1 of the podcast. And the name of this season is We the People Have Power. All the episodes coming in this season is about stand in your damn power. Stand in your damn power. It's time we got together and start standing in our power. So it's totally different than what I thought it was gonna be, but that is what I got today. When I went to go record it, I'm like, "All right, I gotta release an episode. Let's get her done." And spent a couple hours this morning talking to Spirit, going, "What direction do we need to go with this? What do people need to actually hear right now?" So go listen to the podcast, share the podcast. This is a 9-minute episode. I'm doing short episodes, not like hour-long podcasts, because I don't necessarily think that that's necessary, nor do I think that people have time for that crap right now. If you have not taken the income archetype quiz, go take it. If you know
Take it.
someone who needs some idea of where they stand, have them take the quiz. It's absolutely free. Yeah, it's free. And then if you're looking for your unique income blueprint based on your skills, your experience, your limitations, your needs and requirements, go look up my income blueprint, income generator blueprint. It's all the links I think are in my bio, maybe not the generator. I can't remember. But if you guys want to reach out to me because you're interested, $147. And I'm not kidding when I tell you I could have sold that for a heck of a lot more.
10
Like
times
a
more.
lot more.
I'd say
Yeah.
10 times more.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
For
Given
real.
what I know about the market.
$147. I tried to make it accessible. So yeah. And it's the same with the foundations course. The business foundations course is really how to do your marketing and offers and pricing and business foundation and structure and blah, 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 and a 90-day roadmap so that you start out making money from the very beginning. And this is all of what I know as a 30-year veteran entrepreneur. And I put it all into one program. And that is only 597. Normally, like if this was 5 years ago, I literally would be charging thousands of dollars for it. Because we're in a jobless economy and people just don't have the money or the time or the bandwidth right now, and people are really having issues financially, I dropped it way down to a 10. It won't always stay at this price, but I'm gonna get it out to as many people as I possibly can at that affordable rate.
And the other thing to remember about the course is if you go back, previously the way most people would do seminars, only one of those modules would be a whole course. You put everything together in one package. You're not going to need to go out and search out other aspects in order to complete this. It's all there for you in front of you, and she walks you through it like she's sitting right next to you. The modules themselves could be sold individually, but Bernadette chose not to do that. It's all in one place,
And
one
I
time.
did take out a few modules. Like I had 12 and now it's down to 9. But each module has at least 5 lessons in it. So do the math. That's 40 lessons. Literally 40 lessons in for $597.
Right.
And it covers everything you need to know about how to package what you offer, the different streams of income, how to price. And I built a calculator. Like I built a spreadsheet calculator and walk you through. This is how you figure out your price if you're charging hourly. This is what you charge for. And there's different tabs in the spreadsheet. If you are going to be selling products, if you're going to be selling digital products, is a different tab. If you're doing consulting and advising, how to calculate what that is based on your deliverables. Like I broke it down for you so that you can price yourself properly and also within the limitations of what you absolutely need to make. So you have your minimum, what I call minimum floor. This is the minimum you have to make every month. And this is what it will take calculated backwards to make that floor. And then where do you want to go and what's the midpoint? So you have a pricing strategy and a guidebook of what to start with and where to head. And I broke it down, literally built a calculator for y'all. Just saying. Pricing's the hardest thing when you're new at business.
Always. And it's an ongoing challenge to make sure that you're charging a price that makes sense not only for you, but for the customer. So the other part of this, which I keep coming back to, is there's nothing derivative about what Bernadette's doing. She built this. And how does she know it works? Because she's lived it the last 30, 40 years.
And helped other people privately.
Yep. So she's helped other people using certain aspects, and she's brought all of this together in one place that you would have to pay thousands of dollars for if you were doing this individually. So if you've ever given thought to wanting to be your own boss, this is the place to start.
Yeah, because it over delivers. Like I always tend to undersell and over deliver. I know that I know that I know that I am 10x over delivering based on what I'm pricing it at. Like I'm telling y'all, I've taken the other courses. I know their shit. And I know how small they are for the amount of money that you spend. $597. One time, not, hey, you got to pay for it again. No, one time. One time. And you have all the information you will ever need. You will walk away with your brand. Like I work you through brand message, brand positioning, creating a brand voice, creating an audience profile, being able to dial in. And by the time you walk away, you have 20 ideas for content strategy. You could hand the entire what's called foundation file, the workbook that you're going to end up with at the end of this, put it into an AI, give it to a designer, give it to someone who does marketing copy. If you don't feel like doing it yourself, I don't know why you wouldn't, because I'm laying it all out for you so you can. But you literally can hand it to someone. You don't even have to tell them what your business is about. It's going to be in one freaking place. One place. And that is shit that's taken years and multiple products and projects and trial and error for me to finally dial in for my own stuff and with other people. Nobody brings that to the market in one place. Literally, you would have to take 5 different courses just on the offer, the messaging, and your branding 5 different courses just to get those 3 pieces out, and you get so much more out of it. Like, I'm setting you up with what you need to run a business, and you're not gonna guess at it, and it's not hard. I always simplify the complex stuff in such a way you can understand it, because there's nothing worse than trying to do something and someone's talking over your head. There are slides, I'm with you on video, and we're going exercise by exercise, and you're putting the whole thing down together, and then the next one, we compound it, we go deeper, we dial it in some more, so you know, and you have a bio. You know what your mission and manifesto is for your business. Things that most courses don't even tell you. Like, mission and manifesto. How many business owners I've talked to and they're like, "I never had one of those." Oh, really? People need to know what you stand for, what your business is about.
More importantly, you need to know what you stand for before you begin the whole process.
There's
So
that.
yeah, yeah.
Pricing structure is so important. Just so the calculator is super good, and it breaks it down in such a simple way. When you understand how to do the math of it, you'll be able to start doing it in your head. I made the spreadsheet so you don't have to do any of that multiplication, division, blah, blah, blah. I literally built it out so that you know what you have to make, and then how many clients, how many products, what's your hourly rate if you were to charge hourly, and then it translates into the products, or it translates into services, or it translates into digital products, or it translates into consulting and advising. I covered the gamut. I did not leave anybody out.
And like I've told Bernadette, the calculator itself is worth the price all by itself. I mean, if you took a basic economics course, what I did at college, Economics 101, in the basic economics course, they teach you that whatever you're selling, you need to multiply it by 3 in order to cover your overhead and all the other incidentals to run your business. But that doesn't help you. The calculator breaks it down to where you understand what you're doing and why you're charging what you charge, so that you can be comfortable with it, so that you can sell your product with the passion that it needs to get sold with, and not apologize.
Even like when I teach about minimum floor, what's your minimum floor that you have to make, right? It is like for service, it is based on what is your monthly outgo, that without that, you're dead in the water, you can't survive, right? There's that number, and then we take how many hours it takes to work with you, and then we go into the marketplace and go, "Okay, this is what this would be," and there's a certain equation, you start plugging it in, and literally within 5 or 10 minutes, you walk away and you know the price. And then you know how many clients you have to serve. And this calculator, when you look at it, why it has so many tabs to it and breakdowns of different calculations, is so that you can end up with multiple income streams, not just one. Because like I said, I have multiple income streams. I have the health side of my business. I have biomagnetism therapy in office and long distance. I have Rife therapy. That's a whole other service. That's remote always. I have health coaching. That's just on my health side. On my coaching side, I do business coaching. I do private coaching. I do transformational coaching in my groups. I have a monthly membership that's super affordable for 40. And then I have breakout products or breakout programs. The income generation suite of products now is the free quiz that goes into the blueprint. And the blueprint actually feeds into the foundations course. Anyone who does the foundations course, like in the first 4 lessons, I keep telling people, you need to take the blueprint, because you're going to take a lot of what was generated in your blueprint, plug it directly into the foundations file in the first 3 to 4 modules. Not all of them, you still got work to do, but you have a start, like you have a head start. And without it, it will take you much longer because you're starting from scratch. Where with the blueprint, you're plugging that stuff in and bringing it. And I tell you, section by section, if you have a blueprint, take section 2, copy and paste it here. If you have a blueprint, copy your section 11, paste it here. Literally, a lot of it's already been done. And it's not that we're repeating things, it's that the information flow to build a brand, to build a business, to build a content strategy, to build your manifesto and your mission and all of your offers with your pricing needs certain elements to go into it. And you could take months or years to figure this shit out all on your own, or you can come join the course and get it right the first time. I already have people waiting. I had 2 people who are like, "Can I start?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna open it until probably Monday, fully open it." I took it down because I had a couple of people reach out and they're like, "I wanna start." I'm like, "No, just wait." I like to have things done, and yeah. So, you can be one of the first ones in, and if you're interested, let me know. But do the blueprint because that in and of itself, I've had people do it within a couple of days, take their time and really deep dive it. I have people who've done it with me. Andy's one of them, and it takes about 3 or 4 hours to really get deep, and it's my system, and I was doing the typing, like, we walked through it. I took a couple of people through like that. You have to do it completely. And even Andy, I told him, "You can go back and redo the entire thing, and you're gonna get different information." So it's not like you buy the blueprint and you only do it one time. Buy the blueprint and do it again.
Yeah.
Because you're consistently growing, at least I hope you are skilling up.
And like you said, you're not leasing this. You own it. So you can create multiple streams multiple times using the program. It's not a one-off.
Mm-mm. Nope. So yeah, I'll be working on all of that. So I don't know when I'm coming back. Right now I'm behind schedule. Not that I had a schedule. I always give myself a deadline so I will get shit done. And I was very optimistic that I could finish it by today. That did not happen. Partially because I have reiterated it 3 full times now, and I'm on the 3.5 to 4th iteration and changing things, which means my 500 slides, I have to continuously change. So it's taken some time. So I'm giving myself now until Sunday, um, or Monday to get it all done. Just saying. Oh, we lost Andy. Mr. Andy froze. I don't know where he went. Anyhow, I'm gonna jump off before we lose any more on the stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Hang in there. Go watch the podcast. Leave me a comment, especially if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Apple or Spotify, I'd love for you guys to follow that podcast. Leave a comment or a rating on there. It helps me more than you really more than you know. Your computer battery died. That's cool. No, I gotcha. I thought maybe that you got knocked off because that's what's been happening tonight. But yeah, I'm